Is it recording? Yeah, it's recording.
Wait, is it recording?
Yes.
How do you know if it's recording?
I don't know, but look. Look at my eyes. Laser beams. You didn't see that? Hi guys, it's me, and this is John. If you didn't know him, the camera's right there, John. I always look at the wrong side. This is John.
I'm looking at the red dot right there.
That's not that's the record button. You're gonna look like you're looking at yourself, and people don't like people who look at themselves while they record. I guess that's a big, like, faux pas.
There's a big picture of me right there, though.
I know, you're supposed to look right there. A few weeks ago, I asked anybody if they had any questions for John and I because, I don't know, John's apparently interesting to some of you. And so I thought that we would go ahead and answer those now since the kids are all in bed and stuff.
Got this at Kroger. It's a toenail clipper.
So, a bunch of you left some questions. We're not going to get to all of them today because, well, I don't know, maybe we will. There's not that many, but we tend to be long-winded as individuals and as a couple, so we'll see how this goes. The first question was from, I'm going to butcher this name, Chiang Yang. She's got the cutest little Asian babies. She asks, what was one of the most embarrassing thing your significant other did with/around you in public? What was the most embarrassing thing you did in front of me or I did in front of you?
Oh, the macachado thing.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
John likes to purposely butcher words. Like if he's ordering food off of a menu or a drink at a coffee place, which when we were dating, he ordered me a caramel macchiato and said macachado. And then I corrected him, and so ever since now, whenever we go up to a Starbucks drive-thru, he always asks for a caramel macchiato because he thinks it's funny.
They usually think it's funny.
They're patronizing you for a tip.
I don't usually tip them, though.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's the grumpy old man. I tip. Okay, so what's my embarrassing thing that I've done in front of you?
What?
I never do anything embarrassing.
Exactly.
I don't usually, like, fart in public. That's, like, something I don't do.
No. You've done stuff, though. You would have forgotten something or just, like, couldn't remember something or, like, under some kind of pressure situation.
They're kind of boring.
Yeah, that's not very... I can't remember anything that stands out, honestly, that you've done that's, like, super embarrassing out, like, in public.
Your embarrassing thing with me would probably be passing gas. You don't think so?
Why are you being so awkward?
I don't know.
I don't pass gas.
Wasn't that the question?
Alright, let's go.
Okay, moving on. Amanda,
good question.
Amanda Costa asks, first time mommy here, just had our little peanut a month ago, which that's awesome. 1 month is such a cute age. John doesn't like the newborn age. I love it.
They're useless flesh balls.
But they're so cute and they just sleep on you.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about them.
She wrote, I guess I was just wondering how you keep the spark going between you and John while having 3 little wee ones running around. We don't have much of a
spark.
My opinion, I think that when you have children, you have to kind of put yourselves on the back burner because they will drive you insane. It's difficult just in general being parents or new parents and parenting together, let alone trying to put this unnecessary pressure to, like, keep a spark alive that's really difficult in the first place to keep alive with or without children. I think that when it comes to, like, a spark, I think that when you have children, you can't put that pressure on yourselves to have a spark. I think that comes later after, like, when you have time again for a spark.
I don't know.
You're not being very helpful with these questions.
I'm just saying, like, there's nothing to say about this. This is a bad question for us. It's a bad subject.
There's no spark right now. No?
Alright, next one.
But
why are you looking at me?
Do you love me? Are you going to leave me? I think that's so. What that question is, you know, how do you stay at least, like, how do you still love each other? I think it's more than
married, right?
I think it's more than a physical thing. But I think...
Of course it's more than physical.
Well,
why would you get married if it was anything
I know, but that's,
physical?
I think, what the question is, like, how do you keep that, like, the loving each other alive?
It's just a lot of work. You have to work for it.
Yeah.
You have to work really hard for it.
I think you just have to be patient for it.
You have to clean the bathroom. Whether you want to or not. And you have to think about the other person's needs, whether you want to or not, whether you have time to or not. You have to think about their needs and think about what they need and hope that they do the same thing for you.
So basically, to keep the emotional and physical spark alive, if there's a physical spark, but the emotional is most important to keep a marriage.
Well, if the emotional's there, then the physical will come.
Is to just be patient and to be considerate of each other, right?
Considerate, patient, helpful.
Basically, just love each other or care about each other, because when you have kids, you sometimes hate each other just as much as you sometimes hate the kids.
It's like hard to find. I think a really good way to put it is it's hard to find the energy once you get the kids to bed. Mm-hmm. You've been fighting with them all day to do this, to do that, to raise them correctly. And then you've also been at work and there's just not a lot of energy left in the day.
Yeah. I think that if the question was strictly, if you meant the question strictly, how do you keep the physical spark alive? I think that there is no easy question for that, because I think certain people who maybe have more time on their hands together, like if they have like a regular babysitter or like in-laws or parents that are willing to watch their kids a lot, or if they have, I don't know, if they have more energy or different types of kids than us, then it's maybe easier to keep a physical spark alive. But for us, we have our children around us 24/7. My parents live down the street, but they both work full-time still and have lives of their own. So we are with our kids all the time. So that it's really hard to keep the physical spark alive, so we have to work even harder to keep the emotional spark alive, so that way we can just still stay together and survive, if that makes sense. But, I mean, making time for each other is important, but that's not always easy. That's easier said than done.
We just have a really bad stretch right now.
Yeah, with my health issues and stuff.
It goes up and down.
But I think that you shouldn't even ask how do you keep a spark alive when it comes to having kids, because sometimes it won't be there, and I don't think you need to beat yourself up about it.
I think you just need to know that person's going to be there no matter what.
And it will come back when the kids are a certain age, or when you get back to your own self.
When you have time for each other.
Yeah. Which you will later when they get older and all of that.
Yeah.
Having kids is a sacrifice.
We're just getting to the point where we can leave Kaya.
Yeah.
For extended periods of time. So that'll be helpful when that starts to happen more.
Yeah. That was a terrible answer to that question. We're sorry. Kendra Banderas asks, what does John think of cloth diapering? I am trying to get Pete on board with cloth diapering for next baby. Expensive, time consuming, really worth it?
I don't have any problem with cloth diapering. I think it's really easy. Mm-hmm. I think it's just as easy to change a cloth diaper if you have the right kind as it is to change the other kind.
But you're not a fan of the whole pocket diaper thing, because you don't want to stuff anything.
No, right? I don't want to. Well, yeah. I mean, the less amount of labor you can find in the diaper system, the better. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not educated as far as diapers. I just use whatever Kelly puts on the shelf. So, but I'm not I was a little skeptical at first. I thought it was going to be way more work, but once you do it a few times, it's oh, okay. No
he was resistant before Wyatt was born, when my mom bought us our first cloth diaper cover.
Well, I think a lot of people just think of 1972 or 1965.
Rinsing the cloth diaper in the toilet.
Use the safety pins.
And safety pins, and are you already scared of clipping their nails too short, let alone needles near their genitals?
Basically, if it's a huge poop, you just pull it out, drop it into the toilet. The poop falls out into the toilet. You throw the thing into the dry bag, and then you wait 7 days and put on a gas mask.
So you don't think it's any more time consuming or cost wise?
What do you mean cost? I don't know what the cost difference is.
I'm the one who buys the cloth.
I'm pretty sure that you save money because you could spend $100 on diapers.
Oh my gosh, we spend so much money on, because we use disposables for Wyatt still, and then for Kaya as well when we feel like we want to use that, and I think it's cheaper. But I think that also, I think if you just at least try it once, maybe buy one cloth diaper if you're trying to convince your significant other, and then just to try it, because we tried it with Wyatt. We started off with a small amount, and then we added onto our collection.
Guys like the idea of I like getting the little accessories and putting it all together, and it's like going to the baby store is kind of like going to Home Depot if you think about it that way. And you're getting all the little things that you need, and you've got it all set up. And I like that aspect.
So you need to include your husband, right?
Well, I don't know.
That's
I would
fine.
make it as easy as possible for...
Yeah, don't
them
confuse
to-
them with a bunch of detergents and stuff because that just
Or
doesn't.
different styles.
Yeah,
Like,
don't-
try to get all
yeah.
the same thing.
There's some women who get like 12 different styles and like they call them, what do they call them?
I don't know.
They're not called collections. What are they called? Stashes? And they have like tons of them. We only have like one or two different
One kind.
kinds. We have two because your friend gave us one.
Oh, well, that's the one I never use.
Kaylin, the Country Bumpkins, asks, I'd like to know what your high and low moments of the past year are. Are they the same or do your answers differ from each other? What's your high and low of this past year?
Last year? Well, I guess the high would be Kaya being born. Because that was uneventful and good. Everybody was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the low points were this last winter when everyone was sick at the same time. And the other low point was when you were in the hospital for 3 days, just recently.
Yeah, I would say the same. The high would have been Kaya being born because that was a really good moment for us. It worked out exactly how we wanted it, essentially. And then the low, yeah. This past winter, if you haven't been following me for a long time, all of our kids got sick. Kaya was really, really ill with RSV.
It was like all in the same month.
And it was all in the same, well, Wyatt and Kaya overlapped. So they both were in the emergency room like one
Within a
week
week
and
of
then
each
the
other.
other week. And then
Ava had strep throat.
because Wyatt had walking
She was
pneumonia.
the doctor.
And then Ava got strep throat while she was at her dad's.
And then we found out she was allergic.
And then
to
we found out she was allergic to amoxicillin. So we were literally at our
Penicillin.
pediatrician. Well, that's a kind
No,
of
I know.
we were at the pediatrician's office like 2 times a week for like 6 weeks because Kaya had to be on a respirator or no.
And I was going to the doctor for my knee.
And then he
and
had
physical therapy for my
knee surgery, so he was on actually
was out of
disability for a month. And then I had just gotten over
Your surgery.
my surgery, which I had a tubal ablation, and this was all within a month
December
and a half.
to January.
So that would have been our low. It was a very difficult month for us financially, physically, and emotionally. Yeah. So we're going to be really like germaphobes this winter because we can't do that again. So yeah, so they're the same, our highs and lows.
How are
Michelle,
you reading that?
because they're
It's like microscopic.
I know, that's why I have my glasses on.
You know you can like zoom.
Oh, I didn't know. Michelle Suyun, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at this. How do you guys manage your finances, especially since he brings in the paycheck?
I make the money and you spend the money.
I manage the finances. It's a little bit easier, I think, for us because we have one source of income. Well, I make money on the side, like through selling my things, but
The IRS might be listening.
I don't make a lot of money. It's just like little when I do Scentsy or Tastily Simple, but it's easier for me to just take care of all the finances because then it's all in my head and I pay the bills. Like there's a certain time of the month that like a paycheck goes to certain things. So it's easier for just me to do it because that way it's just all in my head. I know what's coming in and what's going out and when it's coming in and when it's going out. When it comes to like purchases though, like if I go shopping or big purchases like a new electronic thing or whatever, John and I usually talk about that first. I don't think either of us really make big splurges without speaking to each other. And we rarely ever... Really?
What?
You're making me sound like...
What?
I don't know. Terrible.
What? You're not terrible.
I'm not terrible. I manage the finances. That's just how it goes.
You do the bookwork.
Yeah. John and I don't ever really spend a time apart from each other. Like this past weekend when I went to Chicago, that's like the first time we've been apart since we met, basically, for that long.
Not really. We've been apart a few other times.
Yeah, but when you were at work for like a day or two, we've never been apart for 3 days.
I don't remember.
But we do all of our like grocery shopping usually together, unless I do it during the day. We go shopping together. Like I don't know. I manage the finances. That's the easy answer to that question. And we just kind of...
I think she was asking, like, what do you do to make your finances work with one income? Make more money.
That's really easy, right? I don't know. you cut out what you can live without. Like, we don't have cable.
Yeah, we do.
We have basic cable.
We have below basic
We have
cable.
below basic cable. But we stream everything online. We don't have, like, HBO and all that stuff anymore. We cut that out, like, 2.5, 3 years ago.
We ever had HBO?
Well, you know what I mean. The bigger cable packages. We don't have that anymore. We cut that out. That saved us, like, $80 a month. We're on a shared family plan with our phones with my parents. That helps us. It saves us, like, $100 and something a month. We don't have a house phone anymore. We cut that out because that was like $20 a month. We've really started actually trying to eat in a lot more because A, it sucks eating out with kids, and B, it's cheaper and healthier. I've been buying a lot of stuff on Craigslist and selling it on Craigslist when it comes to kids stuff, so we've been making a lot of money there and saving a lot of money there. Mm-hmm. We try to cut out the things that we don't need, and we try to live within our means. I mean, we don't always do that, but we're not perfect, but, you know, if you don't have the money for something, then you just don't spend it, and then, I don't know. That's a hard question because we're not probably the best people to answer that question, to give advice.
No, we're not super financial savvy people.
No, we're not, but we make do. So I guess it just all depends on what you think you need to be financially, where you need to be.
You're just saying, like, the basic of live within your means.
Yeah, live within your means and cut what you think you can out. Just to be conscious of where you can cut corners or cut things out, I think is a good way of living within your means. Wow, we're terrible at this. Nobody's going to ask us any questions. Nobody's going to ask us any more questions.
Nope.
Jeanette Richards, how is it with 3 compared to 2 kids? I have an 11-month-old and a 3-year-old, and I feel like I'm going to go crazy sometimes. We really want one more, though. Do you recommend waiting or having them close together?
Get it over with.
Get it over as in, like, have them close together? Do you think it's easier with 2 or 3?
2.
Yeah.
3, they outnumber us. There's one that's always on the loose.
Yep. I would.
Unless you've got one tied down somewhere.
I would say... Right? But you can look at it in 2 different ways, though. Like, when I had Wyatt and I had Ava was 5 when Wyatt was born.
She was in school.
She was in school all day, and she was such a big help, and she was somewhat independent, so I didn't have to worry about her as much all the time. So I would say that the age difference there was really great, but if you're not all fortunate enough to have been super duper young when you had your first, I say that sarcastically because you don't want to do that. But, I mean, if you don't have that, are you sniffing me?
It's not funny.
I took a shower this morning.
Okay.
If you...
Sparkle.
There's different advantages, I think, to having them either closer together or further apart. But like John said, get it over with. When we decided that we wanted to have one more, I decided, and then John finally agreed. One of the things was we already have one in diapers. Let's just get it over with and then be done. And then I got my tubes snipped, and that was that. So yeah, I would say get it over with, but definitely 2 is easier than 3. 3 is very difficult, especially with the ages that Kaya and Wyatt are at right now.
I would say don't have that 3rd baby.
Really?
I have 2 babies, and that's enough.
If you had to go back, you wouldn't have had Kaya?
No, I had 2.
Oh, you're talking... Oh, gotcha.
With Ava, I mean, she's not really...
Yeah, technically Ava is not...
She's not that bad, because she's 5 years older than Wyatt, so...
Yeah, she's not a baby.
She's more of a help than a hindrance at this point.
Stop! So, there are some new questions added. Kendra Banderas asked again another question. How does John feel about some of the negativity on YouTube towards you, Kelly?
Oh, I'm used to it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Because what?
What is that supposed to mean?
Don't ever read the comments if you're a content creator on the internet. It's trouble.
Yeah. When I first started YouTube and I got like my first dislike, or I forget what happened, somebody sent me... Okay, this is what happened. I had Google...
Hey, that's mine.
I had Google Alerts set on my computer. John set that up. So that way, when any other company would post my blog posts of the reviews on their websites, or I was mentioned on somebody else's website, like my blog, that would notify me so that I could see the article and link back. Well, it kind of worked in a bad way because I ended up getting all of a sudden notices that I was being talked about on other websites in not a nice way. And I kind of I got upset about it at first, and then John was just like, okay, you gotta get over that because, stop! Because I'm gonna punch you in the face.
You're in a helicopter.
John listens to a lot of different bloggers when he is podcasts, when he's working. And so he basically just said, like, you have to, like...
Stop.
Yeah, you have to get over that because...
And caring about the
people
comments.
are just going to be jerks.
It's a black hole. Every single time.
So, but how do you feel about... But how do you feel...
On the internet is something that will cause people to say things that they normally wouldn't say in general. Normal.
Well, yeah, because none of these people will actually say them to my face. They hide behind like weird
matter.
Screen names and stuff.
So you can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
But
There's no repercussion.
But what do you feel about the negativity about me? How do you feel about that?
I feel like the negativity would be there no matter what, and it's up to you to either focus on it or not to focus on it.
Do you think it's deserved?
Do you deserve negativity?
Yeah. Do you think I deserve it?
I don't know, do you? What did you do?
I didn't do anything!
What did she do?
I didn't do anything.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I mean, the 2 recent videos I made,
sure you did something.
I can understand some negativity because I asked for it, but I haven't been, like, mean.
No, it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother him.
It's not like I'm going to go fight someone because they say they don't like you on the internet.
It doesn't bother John, just like it doesn't bother me anymore, because we don't know these people, nor do we care about their opinions about me. So
I care about everyone's opinion
on me. Allie Page, YouTube, asks, in between all the chaos of life and kids, how do you let each other know you love them? How do you?
We already just went over this in the Spark section.
No, she's asking how do you let each other know. I like to do special things for John. Like,
I usually say I love you to her.
Okay.
And then she says something like, I know, John.
I like to do special things for John. Like, I know that he likes, like, certain little things, like certain candies from, like, the grocery store or certain drinks. I'll get him, like, a Diet Coke because he really likes Diet Coke. So, like, I'll get him things that I know that he likes without him, chocolate-covered peanuts, without him asking. And I cook him dinner, and I clean, and I don't know. That's how I show him I love him. What do you do? No. You re-proposed to me. He does nice things for me. He's very considerate now. Well, you're everybody's a work in progress.
Oh yeah, I was a lot of work. Now I'm a nice trained boy.
He said, I didn't. You're making me seem like such a bitch right now.
Well, then just tell everyone how much I joke about everything all the time.
He's such a sarcastic piece of crap sometimes. Oh, like, I hope you guys realize this. Like, if you know him in real life, he is. That's how you make me feel.
I don't deserve that. Go ahead, next question.
So, Kate, IVF, and Mish.
Who?
It says.
Mish?
If money...
she's in Michigan.
If money was no... She sent us those burp cloths that I really liked before Kaya was born. Okay.
Thank you.
She has an Etsy store. I forget what her...
IVF. What does that mean?
In vitro fertilization.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up.
You guys do that stuff?
Okay. If money was no object, what would you get each other for Christmas? If you could only spend $1, what would you get each other?
I know what I would spend $1 on.
What would that be?
I know it's easier to answer the $1 question than the
Okay, so what would you get me?
I would buy you your favorite song on iTunes.
Really?
And play it for you on Christmas Day. What's wrong with that?
That's really what you would get me?
Like that Bette Midler song, The Wind Beneath My Wings.
Oh my god, just give me a candy bar. I would really have a candy bar. I would get John a Diet Coke.
Oh my god, they're more than $1.
Not the little
You're gonna
cans.
have to you're gonna have to get a donation for the rest of it.
Not the little cans; those are only $1.
I don't want that.
Okay, but if you could have all the money in the world, what would you get me?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. That's not an easy question.
If I had
what would you want?
If I had all the money in the world, I would replace John's Audi that he sold.
Yeah, but But that wouldn't cost that much money. It wasn't expensive.
But that wasn't the question. The question was, if I had all the money, what would I get you? Well, that would be what I would get you.
I wouldn't want that old piece of junk.
Oh my gosh.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I would get him the old car that he ended up having to sell while I was pregnant with Kaya. We sold his Audi and got a...
It wasn't like we couldn't afford it.
No, we just didn't need it.
It was impractical.
It was impractical because we were going to have 3 kids. It was impractical because I couldn't even get in and out of it comfortably while I was pregnant. And it was impractical because it was like fine leather, which milk stains and leather do not go well together. Mm-hmm. But that is another thing that when it came, that question about managing finances, that's another way we cut back, was we sold his expensive car. We bought a used Honda Odyssey that is like, I don't know, it's pretty old, but it works really well still. It's, the kids can treat it like poo. Our insurance is like $40 a month on it. It's super cheap. And we have one vehicle because he's got a work car. So we cut back on our transportation, and we got a less expensive mode of transportation, which also lowered our insurance rates every month. So that's another way we manage. So Sarah Mack asks, would you guys ever consider adopting or fostering in the future?
No. Next question.
I would...
Next. Next.
I would...
Next question.
Okay, but okay.
Next
Hypothetically,
question.
What if we won like the multi-millionaire lottery?
Nope.
Really?
I will nope that.
But okay, I get to put...
Leslie, nope.
I get to put my opinion. Monica Missick asks, is it easier with second/third child, or you feel like you never
that sounds like a
done it before? Question. No. She's asking, was it easier the second or third time around, or did it feel like you were a new parent again?
Easier.
Yeah, definitely. This was my third. This was only his second experience with the baby.
Disciplining Kaya is so much easier than Wyatt.
Yeah, he can... John definitely had first kid syndrome with Wyatt. And it was his little boy, so he was a lot easier and more lenient on Wyatt, where I was more...
No more questions?
Strict. I'm going to just check real quick, because Facebook is...
Should have done this before.
I know. John's a lot more just... I don't know. He loves his baby boy, which is fine, but for some reason he can just let Kaya scream. I mean, he just lets Kaya scream.
Second baby.
But is it easier? Like, what other ways is it easier?
Well, I know what I'm doing. Before, I had no idea. I'd never lived with a baby before. Like, to know what it was going to do when. Like, is it going to break? If it cries, will it die?
Of course it won't die. Yeah, you kind of...
What are you doing?
I'm trying to log in so I can, like, check to see if there's any more questions.
Sing a song. Show him a talent.
Shut up.
She sings all the time.
Leave me alone.
Until the camera rolls and then she stops.
No, I do not.
You're always singing.
What are you talking about?
What's that new song you like?
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't embarrass me. Stop embarrassing me.
I forget. New Direction? Is that your favorite?
Oh, heck no. No. There's no more questions. There you go.
What do you mean there's no more questions?
There's no more questions. That was it.
I thought this was like some big question.
No, I told you it wouldn't be that big of a deal. John's been dragging his heels.
No, I didn't. You just asked me about it today.
I asked you a week ago.
Yeah, and I said sure, and then you finally mentioned it.
Yeah, and then I said, "Are you good? Can we do a video?" Like, oh, I've already had a stressful day. Now I don't want to add on this as well.
Lucky I'm here. She looks nice with her glasses.
I found them when I cleaned our bedroom yesterday.
They've always been sitting there.
Eggs under a bunch of crap.
Can you see?
Yeah.
What do you do without them?
Don't say
Drive into things.
No, I don't. All right, that's enough.
There's the embarrassing moment.
Nobody's gonna ask us any more questions ever again. Are you pushing the couch back?
No, I'm just leaning. It's moving on its own.
You pushing the couch back. We're like...
Okay, the video's over.
Stop. Okay, we're gonna let you guys go. Don't fart right now. My face is next to your butt. I think that's all the questions. I think we're done.
No.
What?
There was another one.
No, that was it. See, I'm refreshing the page. There's nothing else.
There's another one.
Where?
What's that one?
There's no more. They're all gone.
What would you buy me with all the money? You'd buy me a $14,000 car. You get all the money in the world.
I was trying to be nice. I don't know. What would you get me? You didn't answer that question.
That's what I said. It's hard.
I don't know. I'd buy you a house with a man cave in it.
I would buy you a solid gold bust of yourself.
To do what with?
I don't know.
To pawn.
I would buy you all the money in the world. I don't know. A nanny so we could hang out together during the day.
Yeah, we would just buy a nanny. We'd just buy a person.
We would buy someone. That
Import
sounds horrible.
somebody. Import an au pair.
We would employ.
Yeah.
A responsible individual.
An irresponsible individual?
Responsible. More responsible than us, probably.
Yeah, their kids would probably like them better.
They would. We would just have to check in from time to time. We're horrible parents.
Okay, don't do that.